CMPRadio.net, the voice of Chester.
CMPRadio.net, it's the station. Listen, man, let's cultivate together. Bring us all your show ideas. Content creators, we're looking for that. Videographers, we're looking for that. You can be a part of the next great big thing that takes place right here in Chester, Pennsylvania. Let's cultivate together, man.
CMPRadio.net, the voice of Chester.
What's up, everybody, man? We want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors. Let's go. Chester Cultural Arts and Technology Center, that's the CAT Center. Mecca, Mosley Early Childhood Consulting and Advising. KC Electrical Services. Mind Our Own Businesses. LeBron Construction. Northern Marketing and Design. Pressure Inc. The Boys and Girls Club of Chester. Paragon Charisma, and Chester Community Charter School. Listen, they're sponsors. You too can be a sponsor. Hit us up at info, that's INFO, at CMPRadio.net, and let's see how we can build this relationship even further. It's CMPRadio.net. You already know it's the
CMPRadio.net, the voice of Chester.
CMPRadio.net, man. It's your boy Uncle P. Yeah, man. What's going on, everybody? How you feeling today, man? I want to welcome you to Cultivating Mature Positivity Podcast. Shot here live at the Cultivating Mature Positivity Studios, man. CMPRadio.net. You already know it's the voice of the city. Behind me, behind me, I got my man Benjamin Bell. He in the building, man. Just got done Week Strong, man. Go check it out. But right now we're about to have an interview with the one and only, right? She caused a lot of controversy in the city. Always since 1992, in an uproar, right? Constantly, and I appreciate her. I want to give her flowers right now. I appreciate her for bringing environmental justice to my doorstep. I was a person that really didn't care, right, enough about what was going on in my community to even say anything. And I think since starting the radio station, since starting talking to people outside of my normal everyday people that I talk to, like understanding why she's fighting, understanding who she's fighting for. But I want her to let you guys know who she's fighting for. Why is she fighting? Why does she feel like this is a fight that she just can't stop amidst going through, the things that she's going through personally? She still gets up, she still comes, and she still works for the community of Chester. Now, everybody might not agree that she's working for the community of Chester, but I don't see where she isn't working for the community of Chester. So if you see something, let me know. If you want to come up here and talk after she talks, if you want to come up here and talk with her, so we can try to end this bickering and this fighting stuff. I'm not a man of many words when it comes to fighting, right? If we're gonna fight, we're gonna fight. But if we can talk it out, if we can work it out, let's work it out. So how you doing, Ms. Zulene? How you feeling today?
Good afternoon. Hi, JP and CMP Radio and residents of Chester and people who are concerned about Chester near and far. I welcome you, and let's go. Let's get it.
Let's get into this interview. First, I want to start real quick. Who are you? Who is Zulene Mayfield?
I'm just an everyday person. I was born here. I was raised here. I was educated here. Many years ago, I found out that they were bringing a trash to steam plant here. Well, nobody at the time knew exactly what that was.
Right.
there was no documentation. There was no literature given out as to the system, the processes, what it was, what it did, and the havoc that it was going to wreak upon the community. So I tried to find and educate myself after I went to a meeting that I wasn't pleased with. There was a community meeting held in the Ukrainian church, sort of like a town hall meeting. And there were different entities there from the state Department of Environmental Protection. At the time, the incinerator was being operated by Westinghouse, so they had various representatives there. And they were talking so, in a manner that was so condescending to the residents that I said what I had to say and I walked out.
Right.
And the
What
next
year was
day,
this?
This was in 1991.
1991. Here it is, 2022, and you're still, but go on, carry on.
Yeah, so the next day, Ukrainian gentleman knocked on my door and asked me if I would be a part of their group. And I said, sure, I'll come and listen and see what I can do. I was the only black there. I was the only female in the room.
Right.
And I was the youngest thing in the room. So after we formed, one of the very first things we did is 3 days before Christmas, we were going to have a protest and stop the trucks.
Right.
Because we were not being heard. The community was not being heard. And at the time, everybody was reacting to everything that you could see, hear, and smell. So a lot of the energy was coming from the truck traffic. And we're talking about regular trash trucks that we're accustomed to in our neighborhoods. But primarily, the majority of trucks that come into Chester hauling the trash are those 18-wheelers. They were rattling people's homes. They were causing foundational problems. They were even cracking windows.
Right.
And they were going directly down Thurlow Street, and they would start stacking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So when people would go at 4 or 5 or 6 o'clock to try to get out, to go to work, they couldn't even get out.
Right.
Because they were double stacked. So we actually had fights on Thurlow Street between the truck drivers and the residents. So one of our responses was, okay, yes, we know it's cold. We know everybody's busy. We know Christmas is 3 days away. Well, we're going to stand out here on this line and we're going to stop the trucks. So when we were having a protest, the unofficial leader at the time was Monsignor of the Polish Ukrainian Church. Mm-hmm. And he didn't come. But his secretary came and said that we had to not do the protest. He had been summoned to come into the Archdiocese of Philadelphia.
Right.
And they pulled their power
away
real quick.
Right.
And immediately he gave us a resignation. He said we couldn't use the church for holding meetings. He couldn't offer us any assistance with printing materials or anything.
So what did that do? I think that sparked you a little bit, right?
Oh, it really did, because it made me see just how deep and how powerful people and to what lengths people were going to go to keep us ignorant.
Absolutely.
So we just kept on going. And, then we formed, and we actually, the hardest thing we ever did was to name ourselves.
Right.
And because we realized at the time, at the inception, when we were trying to choose a name, and we had about 8 or 9 of them floating around. But we realized at the time we were very forward thinking, that we not only wanted to address the environmental concerns, our goal was to have somebody on the schools, somebody on community policing, somebody on local government, somebody on funding. We were extremely ambitious at that time, but we kind of got pigeonholed into the environment because at the time Westinghouse was already operating, Delcor was operating, and there were 4 other waste facility proposals for our city.
Wow.
So we had to fight all of these things at the same time with lack of knowledge. Mm-hmm. We had to learn about the technology. We had to go to public hearings. We had to do go to Conshohocken to DEP to pull the records so we could actually see what they were applying to do. And we're all volunteers. We don't have paid staff.
Right.
I work every day. So it was a challenge, a real challenge. However, we were successful in learning the technologies, and we had people who were coming to help us, such as students. When all of this started, you guys got to remember, there was no access to the internet. The internet was you go to Crozier Library, you fill out for an appointment for 1 hour once a week, and that was your access to the internet.
Wow.
So we had to do all of these things. So when we had students come aboard, they had all of those resources available for them. And they basically was teaching us. I would have classes where the members of Circle and the residents were being taught what each proposal was and how we needed to be aware of the technology, because we at least wanted to be on an even footing when these people were talking to us, and we wouldn't be able to distinguish where the lies were.
Right.
So that was the other thing. And then we started looking and talking to different various groups around the country, which were also environmental justice communities suffering under environmental racism.
Right.
Black and brown, indigenous communities. And the story is the same. The health issues are the same. The lack of being viewed as being powerful. It's the same. What is unique about Chester is generally your local government is responsive to what the people need or want, and they have their interests at the forefront.
Right.
That is the uniqueness in Chester.
So you don't feel like that's how the machine is operating currently?
Oh, absolutely not. No, they are not.
Is that because of a lack of voter turnout? Is that because of a lack of or more suppression on voices, right? Quieting people and silencing people. Because when you think about the March on Covanta, I was there last year, right? And instantaneously I because of what I had to deal with the day after, I said, I'm not doing that again. You know what I mean? And I give you and everyone in your organization the platform to use the radio station to talk about what you want to talk about, but also understanding that, you know, I have a governmental job, right? And it's hard to be able to talk about the things that aren't going the right way when you're under their foot. I hate it. I don't, you know, but I know it's helping people of our community, so I continue to do it.
Listen, there are many constraints to our community.
Right.
Sometimes it's as asinine as my third cousin removed. No, they the crossing guards, so I can't say nothing.
Right.
Nonsense. Okay, nonsense. But there are real life repercussions and retaliations and harassments that go on in our city,
Right.
towards us.
Right.
That's if they come after me, and right now I know I got the biggest mic.
Yeah, you did.
They'll go mess with anybody. Let me explain something to you all. Right. I've been at this thing long enough. I've had death threats. They've set my house on fire. They done tore up cars, busted windows. They used to cut my phone lines. Somebody went in our office, was seen by the neighbors. He went in my office. I don't know what he put in there or took out. I found the man, saw him in Chester, chased him,
Right.
got the tag number, sent it in.
Nothing
It's
happened.
a dead tag based out of Pittsburgh. Chester police did absolutely nothing with the threats that were going on against me. So eventually the FBI was called in. They threatened to kill my mother.
Wow.
And when they did that, I put my permitted piece
Right,
on
right.
me and went across the street.
Right.
Y'all got one more time to threaten a black woman's mother.
Right.
And it's going to be everything y'all wanted to be down here. So this shit is real.
Right.
It's real. So I don't judge anybody for not being in the forefront.
Right.
Okay, everybody has a lane.
Everybody, stay in your lane.
Everybody has a lane.
Right.
I get criticized. Well, there's a lot of other things going on in Chester. Yes, it is. Let's work together. That's
think
your
that's a
lane. The
problem?
schools is your lane.
Right,
Let's
right.
come together as a tribunal and assist each other.
Right. That's what we should be doing.
Everybody has a lane.
Right.
It's economic. It's money gobs of money that flow through this freaking city that we don't know shit about.
Nothing about.
But if you go over CETA,
Right.
you go to the meetings, you know when they come to get the money
Right.
because it's full of people. Full of people that they don't deem them the outsiders.
No.
They come to here making deals that are unreal. Unreal. Yet somebody who wants to buy a CETA home, they're being told they can't buy just one house.
Right.
Who does that foolishness? Developers are not vested in our freaking community.
Right. Build up your community and watch your community soar.
Okay? Give people an opportunity.
Right.
Give that single mother that's working 2 jobs, paying $1,500 a month rent.
Right.
She can pay that rent. She can pay a mortgage.
You could definitely pay a mortgage.
You can create a path to home ownership. That is what strengthens your community, not people getting up and running up out of here.
Right.
They leave because they don't have freaking opportunities.
Right.
Or they get tired of running into that wall. See, I'm a little bit more stubborn.
I am too.
I can move that freaking wall.
Oh, it's gonna move. It's definitely gonna move.
I can move it, or we can dismantle it brick
Right.
by brick.
Right. Or I can climb over.
That's why I've been in this battle for 30 years.
30 years, man. That's a long
30
time.
Oh my God. And I used to shirk when people would say that. But now I'm prideful about it.
You should be.
I'm prideful because despite, and these ain't no little mom and pop company.
Right. They're not. They're
These are
multinational
multinational billion-dollar companies.
Right.
And guess what?
What?
We ain't never had no money as Chester residents concerned for quality living. I've never got a freaking salary. Okay? Don't went in my pocket and paid for all kind of shit.
Right.
But guess what? With all their resources, their troves of lawyers,
Right.
their public relations machinery, and the appearance of many times governmental entities, statewide and citywide. They can't do shit with us because our victory is going to be inevitable, okay? People always say, well, it's there, no, you can do about it. There were 7 other facilities that were there that are no longer there.
And
Had Circle not been put together, nobody would be able to live in this town,
nobody.
period.
No, it'll be a dump.
A wasteland. They were going to burn tires. It was 3 proposals to burn tires, including Kimberly Clark. They wanted to burn contaminated soil. They wanted to have the largest pet crematory on the East Coast right here in Chester.
Wow.
In 5 miles.
And you stopped all of that.
We stopped all of that.
We stopped all of that.
We,
Right.
those of us that understand how to exercise our power. It's power when you tell people no. We have the right to tell people no.
Absolutely.
We have the right to question people. We have the right to demand, services and access to services without being, oh, well, you got to go see somebody else. Is that your committee person? Bullshit. Excuse me. I'm trying not to cuss.
Go
on
ahead.
Sunday.
Go ahead.
Bullshit.
Right.
The same amount of money that pays for taxes in this city that are paid over in the Widener area, the first ward, are the same ones that's paid in the 9th, 11th,
And
those other wards.
Right.
So why is there such a disparity? You don't see a gum wrapper in certain communities in
don't.
Chester, certain areas.
No, you don't.
You see fucking police on bikes. But here you got to go find the police on the West End. No, it's not acceptable. And we should never get to the point where we have been victimized and traumatized where we think that any damn thing is okay to happen in our community.
I think that's what has happened over the 30
it's
years.
trauma.
You've watched this community change, right?
Yes.
First-handed, right? Because you're out in the community trying to shut companies down. You watch a community. It didn't really evolve. I think it devolved, right? Things began to be less concerned. Like people stopped caring about their next door neighbor. They stopped caring about the lady across the street. And people started to think more about themselves. And it became an I instead of a we, instead of a community situation.
That sea pride went away.
Right. And how do you think we can get that back? Like,
First of all, we have to learn how to treat ye one another.
Ooh.
Okay, that's the first thing.
Right.
Number two, we got to hold people accountable. During my era, there were neighborhood mothers. We've always had single mothers, so that bullshit about it's the single mothers, bullshit.
Right.
If your mom and dad worked, the oldest was the single mom.
Right.
Okay, but you had mothers in the area that would check people.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, you know good well your mother don't allow you to wear that.
Right. Take it off.
Okay, going in the house. You don't belong up here. Going home. Home. We checked each other.
But I don't think kids are checkable anymore, right?
Oh, sure they are. Let me tell you something. Kids desire somebody to love them, show them that they care about them, and can inspire some dreams in them.
Right.
And don't kill their fucking, excuse me.
Go
don't kill their
Go
dreams.
ahead, please.
Okay?
Don't excuse yourself.
We got a lot of fucking dream killers around here. Okay? And they ain't got nothing to do with, it's a mentality.
It is.
We in Chester, I've been into the deepest, I went on a plantation. I done seen cotton.
Picked.
Okay? No, the real shit where they got the spikes and everything where you got to pick it. How we did that as a people, I have no idea. But the mentality seems to have changed. The people in the South are more progressive than this people in this city. We have a mentality where we are so used to being victimized. What the puzzlement to me is, if I say something to you and you say something to me and we have beef, you see squads.
Mm-hmm.
People squad up.
Mm-hmm.
But that same type of fucking energy, when it comes to what they're not teaching your child at school,
you don't see that.
You don't see that. But to a degree, JP, I understand it. Because this is a system where it's meant to frustrate you.
It is.
It is a system that has been set up and the fraud has been perpetrated on us that we don't have any power, that we can't effectuate a change.
Is it true that we don't have any power, or
I don't know about nobody else. I know who I am. And if I call for a protest and ain't nobody to fuck there but me, I'm enough.
Right.
I'm enough.
Right.
I don't know why, but I can't look. All we can do is continue to try to educate people and give them the confidence enough to know I'm nobody extraordinary. I played in the dirt just like you all did.
Right.
What's in me, if it's not in you, we can cultivate it and manipulate it and rise you up on your knowledge base so you feel comfortable enough speaking out.
Absolutely.
That's what we have to do. We have to do that for the survival of our children in this community.
Survival of our people. Right.
Okay? But right now, I'm concerned about the children.
They're the future.
And we won't have one.
And if the children don't
That's why the churches are dying, because they didn't cultivate.
My grandmother's church, Murphy AME Church, my mom she just sat and talked to me the other day. She was like, Murphy only has 12 members. They didn't even send us a pastor. They're about to close it. I just think about when my grandma used to force me to go to church. If you're living in this house, you're going to church. And I went. I never put up any argument. but I never really, really saw anything for me. At
You
the
didn't
time.
see it at the time.
No, I didn't see it. My father had died. I was 12 years old. I was mad at God, right? Why you take my dad and keep his dad here, right? His dad is a drunk alcoholic. Why is his dad here and my dad gone? But that was a part of my journey. That was to strengthen me for the next things that I had to take on. It was also so that I could hear the voice of my father constantly in my head, because it's easier to remember things that you no longer have, right? When you have somebody in your face grinding you up and yelling at you constantly, you tend to, he'll always be here type thing. You know what I mean? But when he leaves, like, just to hear his voice, I literally have to lock myself in my back room and just listen. And I hear him.
And you do know that's the times when he's visiting you.
Right, absolutely.
You understand that,
and
right?
I get that. I understand that now. I didn't understand it then. But back to Murphy, right? Murphy and one of our oldest members, Miss Delcy, she's about to turn 100 years old. So I'm like, wow, man, I remember Miss Delcy and my grandma catering and doing things. And it just, for me, it brings a tear to my heart to understand that church will no longer be here in the next couple of years because they only have 12 members. But again, I say they didn't do a good enough job cultivating the next generation of members.
Absolutely.
Making sure
and
the
also
children were
making
involved.
a path.
Right.
Making a path. My job as the leader of Circle is to make a path for the next me.
Absolutely.
The baton eventually is going to have to be taught.
It has to be.
It has to be.
Right.
And I'm doing my community no good deed if I'm not preparing the next me's.
Right.
Okay? And we got them. We got them now.
I know. I see.
Oh, we got them. We got them now.
Right.
But that can be duplicated
Right.
in other areas.
In a lot of other areas.
Okay? Where you don't know how to do something, where you strong at something, I may be weak in that area.
Right.
We have to admit our deficiencies and try to help each other.
You have to do inventory search of yourself, right?
Absolutely.
Literally, what can I do? What
Absolutely.
can I do? What is difficult
Well,
for
I
me?
ain't got
What is
nothing to
easy?
do with that. That's
Right.
their thing.
Right.
I don't
No.
care about that.
No, support.
No, you don't know you care about it till your ass can't breathe. Okay? When you can't breathe, then you're going to find your passion.
30 years you've been fighting this battle. 30 years, man. I don't know if I can.
30 years. I wasn't even married for 30 years, okay? I ain't stayed on the job for 30 years. I ain't got nothing in my life that's 30 years old.
Right.
But this fight.
But this fight.
But guess what, JP? Let me explain something to you.
Please.
I am worth it.
Yes.
My mother was worth it. My family. When I first started this shit was very selfish. It was about me and my family.
Right.
And I come from the cut, well, they hit you, you better hit them the hell back.
Right.
Okay? And so that mentality is in my brain.
Right.
But it goes a lot deeper. You got to have some compassion for people that aren't yours.
Right.
In your circle, how narrow is your damn circle? All you care about is you and yours.
That's a majority of us.
But yours, go out and play with that one.
Right. But you ain't
So
worried
you
about
got to
that.
be concerned about what that dude is into if your son is hanging with him.
I put a post up the other day, and basically I was talking about my kids, right? How much I love my kids, but I also love their friends. I have to.
You have to.
I have to involve myself with their friends and let their friends know that this is a safe space. Wherever you are. With my daughter, I need you to value my daughter, my son, my kids' lives the way you value yours. And I will push you to greatness. I will talk. I sit and talk to them all the time.
Listen, we
What are
have
you
to
doing?
take upon the spirit that there should be no throwaway children.
None.
None. I don't give a damn what they do. And I came from a family where, your ass in trouble, ain't nobody coming to get you.
Right.
Ain't nobody coming to the court. Ain't nobody coming to the prison.
Right.
And I realized in my younger time, when my nephew got sentenced, and he had been in jail about 3-4 years, nobody staying with him, nobody staying on top of him.
Right.
And I'm like, this is foolish.
It is.
That boy needs us.
Yes, he does.
Going into prison at 16, 17 years old.
Wow.
So I had to change my mentality to help him. And we have to change the same mentality mothers, don't be walking around the corner, who said what to you?
Right.
If your ass wasn't out there.
Right.
Somebody got to be the mother. Somebody got to be the dad. Somebody got to mentor, and not mentor, but they got to become the dad for them fatherless boys.
Children, absolutely.
Particularly our boys. I got 4 dead nephews. 4 murdered. 4. So it's a whole lot of areas that hit my world.
Right.
You know, so, but the main thing, and that I have to drive home today, is that, yes, it's a 30-year battle, but guess what? We have achievable goals.
Right.
Like I said, there is no other group like ours that has as many wins as we have had in the city of Chester.
Right.
We have set precedent. We had a groundbreaking case that we brought that now groups, we just had a conference a week ago about it.
Right.
We filed that lawsuit in 1995. They are still studying that lawsuit.
Right. Let's see how you won.
We didn't win.
Okay.
Well, it's how you want to define your own win.
Right.
People can't define your win for you.
Okay.
When you start doing that shit, then you gonna get in trouble. Okay? That's why people run around here in Maseratis and live in the project with their mother. Okay? Because they've let somebody else define their image for them.
Right.
But there are things that can be done, and I don't think that we applaud our heroes.
Enough.
We have living here. We ain't got to go to no history book.
No, we don't.
We got heroes walking around in this city every day.
Every day.
And we couldn't even get a freaking plaque, not a plaque, but a statue up of one woman I just learned about late last year.
Who's this woman?
Frida. That statue that was created with donated money now is going to be residing in Newman College because the city wouldn't let them put it the fuck here.
And this is the
Frida Gibbs. Yeah, MMA.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, why wouldn't they let her put it?
I have no idea. It wasn't her. It was a whole foundation behind it that put up the funding for it.
Right.
It was made right here in Chester.
Right. On 9th Street.
And they wouldn't allow them. They wouldn't give them space to. I said, why not put it down there with the MLK monument?
Right.
There are other people that are living and dead.
You put it around the MLK.
Yes.
Yeah.
So our children can see
the greatness. That comes from their city. Absolutely. Yeah, I had no idea. So there are things that it's not because I'm ignorant. It's because.
And listen, if you don't know about something, you don't know about it.
Right.
And you can't fight against it.
Right, you can't.
Okay, you cannot. It came to me by way of a third party.
Well, whatever comes to you, I want you to send it to me.
Okay? And because I was going to take action on that.
Right.
But I'm busy.
Right.
I'm busy. But like I said, if we got a tribunal and we bring together action issues,
right,
even if it's just once a month we meet,
yeah,
these are actionable things that we need to take action on right now.
Right.
Right now. That thing should never be moved out to Aston.
No, she's not from Aston. She's from Chester.
She lived right here.
Right. She was here. She came through the radio station. We interviewed her. I just... it's sad, the things that you hear.
So you hear about the hindrances. But, this thing is done by design. It's done to frustrate people. It's done to give the appearance that people don't have a voice. And that's why, for 30 years, we are that voice. Mm-hmm. I hope that whatever we do is magnified and duplicated. Maybe not in the environmental arena or area, but other areas.
Right.
I get calls all the time. Oh, Ms. Mayfield, what I can do, you can do.
Right.
I'm going to show you how to do it, and I'm going to help you.
Let's get it done.
You don't have to rely on one person. Ain't no cavalry coming to fuck up in Chester. Ain't no cavalry riding up through here.
The cavalry's already here.
We already here.
The cavalry is already here.
We got to know who we are.
Our saviors are already here. Our leaders are already here. The people that understand
and the people and the things that are a hindrance to that need to be moved out the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I was listening to Master P this morning, and he was talking about how he removed all the negative people out of his life. and he understood his purpose a little bit clearer. And this morning, on a Week Strong, my man Benjamin was talking about your purpose through God. God, your vision that you see. He's not going to tell you every battle that you're going to have. And you're going to have some battles. You're talking about quitting his job and going ahead and living his dream. And I'm like, damn, I was the same. It was the same thing for me, right? So until we are comfortable being uncomfortable, nothing comes true, right? None of the dreams that we think we want, everything that we think we want, it'll never take fruition in our life. So,
well, one time I heard Steve Harvey say something, and it made a whole lot of sense. Your vision is your vision. You can't share it with anybody. Because there's a lot of people that are going to tell you you can't. You can't. And that's where and doubt is going to seep in.
Right.
And you're going to lose your confidence. Okay? Believe you me, if anybody in their mind thought that I wanted to do this shit, that I wanted to do, I was living my best life.
Right.
But, God give you the battle he wants fought.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't want this shit.
Right.
Okay? I'll tell anybody. And at the same time, when he puts one on you, he going to give you the vision and the provisions that you need.
Absolutely.
To fight, because he know that this is unjust.
Right.
Yeah, I cuss. I may act a fool, but I know where I'm grounded at.
Right.
Okay? Why you think I had threats and I don't know if they attempted, if they shot at me, my ass was probably going too fast to know the bullet came. So, but they did everything else. I know these people wanted me dead. They still want me dead, but they can't touch me. Not their hair on my head. Because they don't have the authority for it.
No, they don't.
However, at the same time, my plea is, God, wake my people up for real. People walk around, I'm woke. Yeah, you woke when you woke. Your whole goal in life, we've been, taught that the mentality on showing success for a Chester resident is your ability and how quickly you can up and get out of here. That's not a measure of success for me. If you can't improve everywhere you are when you are there, that should be the measure of success.
Absolutely.
If you can't improve the lives of senior citizens or children, wherever I am, that's my space.
Right.
My heart is always for my people, my family members that are here. Those, 80, we got our oldest member is 81 years old. I don't expect her to get out on the line. I don't expect her to come to city council or go to Delaware County Council, but I expect somebody to stand in proxy for her.
Absolutely.
So, 30 years, JP. 30 years. This is our 30th year anniversary. It'll be, I don't know, I'm picking October because I can't even remember when we formed it, but I'm just going to pick the month of October because it seemed like right. But 30 years, no money. We ain't never had a real budget. Because we weren't good at writing grants.
Yeah.
We didn't know nothing about that. I'm like, what? What? They give you free money?
Where is that at? Right.
Well, okay, how you do this? But those groups that are established, it should have been incumbent upon them to teach us. But at the same time, I'm almost grateful that we didn't do that because that would have been our whole goal.
Right. Money.
Right. I ain't got no money. I don't give a damn what you. I stay in the game. I work every day.
Right.
I worked an 8 to 4 job. I would get off at 4 o'clock. Sometimes I would leave early. I had a very understanding boss. I'd go to a meeting, make a hearing. We produce newsletters, put them out in the community, flyers. I'd be up to 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning reading because I had to learn.
Right.
I had to get right back up.
Go to work.
6 o'clock. I did that straight for 10 years.
Wow.
10 years straight. No break, no nothing. So when people challenge me, I just look at my life, well, whatever. Because I'm an outsider because I went to California.
And you came back. But
I
you've
went to
been here.
California, so I didn't lose my damn mind.
But you've been in the city for 30 years.
It don't count, JP, if you listen to
Has
public
to.
officials.
No, it has to count.
I am now deemed an outsider because I left. I don't really care anyway.
There's no way anyone that hasn't left the city of Chester, right, hasn't spread their wings. And you want to know how great the city of Chester is, no matter where you go, you're going to become great. And then you leave there and come back here and bring what you've gained, right? I want to ask you this question. What do you think has to happen for the environment to be taken seriously in our community, like ultra seriously, like recycling, and doing the things that can maintain our community and help it grow?
Well, listen, we have to realize that there has been a real discrepancy on information sharing and education. I think that the COVID crisis exposed just how deep the disparities were. Mm-hmm. The first solution to COVID when we did lockdown was, we can do virtual, teach them at home. Oh. Well, how you going to do that if they don't have internet?
Right.
How you going to do that if they don't have a mechanism to get on the internet with? What do you do if you got 3 children and you got 1 cell phone and they all got to be in the class at the same fucking time?
Same time.
Okay? That is the same thing that is happening with not only the environment, but other aspects of the educational system here.
Absolutely.
Our children are getting science, technology, engineering, math when they reach high school. Mm-hmm. These children in more affluent areas,
they're getting it in
they're getting it in damn grade school.
5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, yep.
Grade school.
Right.
You got grade school up to 1 to 5. Then you got middle school and high school.
Yep.
Our children are behind on purpose.
At least 4 years.
On fucking purpose. Yep. Because the bigger scheme of thing is they need something. They need inventory.
They need food.
They need inventory to fuel their machinery.
Right.
Which is the criminal justice system.
Right.
Therefore, they don't want them educated.
No, if you educate them, they won't do the things that they do. I said that to I had a CO. He was yelling at me. I went upstate. I did 1.5 years, and I was up there. And I think that's when I really opened my eyes and started to change. And he sat there and he was like, yeah, da-da-da-da. And I had a conversation with him after we went in the bubble and we talked. And I said, if half of the people in here didn't do the things that they did, you wouldn't have a job. And you know what you would be doing? The things that we did that landed us in jail. And he looked at me and he thought about it. And before he left, he was like, you know what, Pete, you was right. Like, honestly, right? We're all human, right? I guess I shouldn't talk to you that way just because you committed a crime. I said, no, I mean, ain't nobody fighting, but I just want the same respect that you want me to give to you. I want that same respect back in return, bro. And we can be cool. I get it. You're a cop, you're a CO, whatever you are, but I'm a person at the end of the day and you're a person. So the title and the title that we have, I'm an inmate. No, none of that. I'm a human being. Respect me and I'll respect you. And,
JP, a lot of times, in our community, we're not viewed as being human.
Right.
We're not viewed as being those that matter.
But how have we been able to turn that we don't view each other as human? You know what I mean? Like if just because he doesn't view us as human, because that's what got us out of slavery, right? The family orientation that we had as slaves to say, this is not good, right? Marching and working together as a family, building up a community store for each other, right? Doing things, and I'm gonna keep it a being. It's done in jail. Like someone has a store in jail, right? I can't make it I forgot to order this off commissary. I can go over here, get one for him and just return it. You know what I mean? It's like spending the money there. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like you're bartering situation. So it's just, for me, we know how to do it.
We have to go back and get out of this me mentality.
We do.
The me mentality has created havoc in our community.
Man, so much.
People are now parenting
differently
because we are in the me mentality. They are parenting by bags. Somebody do something right or wrong. Here come a bag through the fucking door.
Right.
Here you go, play with this.
Right.
Okay? So listen, we also have to realize that there are differences in families, and we say about, we got to get back to the family. Well, if your family was already fucked up, you don't need to go back to that.
No, you don't.
You need to be reprogrammed. You need to see examples, and you try to duplicate what you view as being a successful core nucleus as a family.
Right.
But if you're not exposed to those things, if everybody around you is in dysfunction, we all dysfunctional. Let's get this shit right. We all got a level of dysfunction with us.
Absolutely.
But if you can manage and manipulate life better than I can, then here, sister girl, let me help you. Let me show you how to do this.
Now, when you say sister girl, that's out of love, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
No, sister girl,
Right.
sister warrior,
Right.
brother, my brother,
Right.
my son. Okay?
That's
That
not
ain't
to
my
dismiss
son.
anybody when you say sister girl. You're
Yeah.
not dismissing them.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I don't, that's a term of endearment for me.
Right.
Stop taking our terms where they mean something and turn them into nothing.
You shouldn't ask a woman her age, but I just want to know.
No, none of your business.
There we go.
J-Pen.
There it
it
is. She's been doing this for 30 years, man.
Well, you do the math.
Right. I don't want to do the math, because if you've been doing it for 30 years, I want to say you was probably about 34, 35 when you started. So,
I was younger than that.
You was
J-Pen.
younger than that?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in my Macy's era, me hanging out,
Right.
clubbing. And I'm like, what the hell is this about?
And you were talking about the Ukrainian Catholic Church, so that's down there on 2nd Street, I guess,
Well, that whole area was dominated
yeah,
by
Ukraine.
Polish people,
Yep.
Ukrainian, Russians,
Right.
and they still hanging on,
Right.
few of them. But listen, going back, Brother Gio said something the other day I heard on the radio, and it had made me reflect on what we have been doing for 30 years.
Right.
And he said, if you teaching it and they don't get it, it's something wrong with you teaching. Okay? And if you put the material out and people are still not getting it, then you need to rework that material.
Right.
And you got to do it until they get it.
Right.
And that's what this is about. It is a lot. We do a lot.
Right.
Because there's always a lot of things that have to be addressed all at one time. That has been the history of Circle. If we would have had just the incinerator to deal with, that shit would have been gone. It would have been gone. But they had a level of comfort because everything else was hitting us. Everything else. And those were the companies who had applied for permits. There were other companies that just didn't even apply. But we knew they were trying to come. So somebody clearly put out a welcome mat and said, okay, you can bring every foul thing, every undesirable industry. Just take it down there to them.
What year
they
was
need
that
the job.
when everything started? When you say that they put out the welcome mat?
Well, actually, JP, they had did it after we started digging into the research. This shit was so convoluted. You had a company called Russell Ranzapala out of Pittsburgh. That's why that Pittsburgh tag was so significant.
Right.
The guy that came up in my office when nobody had keys but me.
Right.
That tag was traced back to there. Russell Ranzapala, they owned the land. We still haven't found out who contracted who. Did Westinghouse contract with Delaware County, or did Delaware County seek out Westinghouse? Apparently, all of those records are missing.
Of course.
Okay? But what I can tell you is that when they were having a problem getting it all the way in Chester and with other different entities in Delaware County, they had Nicrelli come out straight out of federal prison,
Jack Nicrelli.
and he brokered the deals. He was the deal broker.
Of course he was.
And that was documented. That was known. So at the very inception of this thing, it was racist.
Right.
The very beginning of it.
Yeah, we
That's
can
where the racism kicks in.
We can move out in surrounding counties and let Chester be the wasteland.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And we'll make money for
we
years
were going to
off of
keep
this.
them confined.
Right.
You know, it's a lot of histrionics. You got redlining, okay? And you got racism.
Right.
Racism and redlining, they're all intertwined.
All intertwined.
And once you made the decision that you're going to be racist and only put black people in a certain area,
Right.
then everything else was like a domino effect.
Absolutely.
You don't see, not only did you not see, you don't see these things in other areas, especially in Delaware County.
No.
They never even applied for permits in those areas. Okay?
And there's tons of space out there.
And this is what I want us to
Forest
understand.
land. Right.
We are so determined to buy that history. Oh, well, it's here now. It's nothing you could do about it. Sunship was here at one time.
Yep.
Meffers was here at one time. Ford Motor Company was here. Teledyne Works. And countless other ones. They were here, and now they're not.
Right.
Why should we? Because the city is doing so bad financially due to mismanagement. Just a mismanagement and not being progressive and enough to start creating opportunities for people to get us out of this mess.
Now, I don't really want to put that on the current people that are in place. I want to say that's about a 40, 50 year mismanagement situation. It was just to the point where it was out of control by the time they took office. You want power so bad. And I want to talk about April 23rd. I want to talk about your march, you know, and I don't want to keep you for too much longer, right? But, you know, I don't want to give that.
Listen, right now, these are the people who are in charge.
All right.
Okay? And whether or not you were there when they first put the incinerator there,
Right.
you certainly have done nothing. Nothing at all to look at the havoc on number one, the aesthetics of your community,
Right.
and more importantly, the health effects that it has done. You won't even acknowledge that there are some real health ramifications for being here. Then you broker a deal. This administration brokers a deal where they lower the fees for them. In year 2021 or 2022 or 2017, what the fuck goes down in price?
Right. Nothing. Everything goes up.
Everything goes up.
It cost me $98 to fill my gas tank up the other day. I was hurt.
Okay?
I sat there and cried at Wawa for like 10 minutes. $100 for gas that I'm gonna have to put in here in 2 days? No, that can't happen. I just put 60 in there yesterday.
So, you know, listen, everybody is accountable. Okay? Everybody is. And when you start pulling back the layers of this thing, you see and you expose even more accountability.
Yes, you do.
It's not sufficient for people to tell us, well, we didn't want it here, but it's here. It's here, and you still brokering bad-ass deals.
I would have tried to get every dime out of them. So there, I say that is their fault, right, for not trying to get every dime out of them. But you know, I just
there are
like,
things, JP, that keeps them out of other freaking communities.
Yeah.
There are. You can pass ordinances. There are many different things. Dumb stupid asses won't even pull the trucks over that are speeding in our community. They have safety violations. They got trash blowing off of them and ash, which is the most toxic thing from what they do.
Right.
Riding up and down every street in Chester, even though there's a designated truck route.
Right.
But you all are so. The police chief and trainer said that they pay for a police officer's salary by pulling over trucks.
Right.
Eddie Stone, Ridley, they do the same thing.
Right.
We actually have a weight scale that has probably not been used in 25 years.
I'm not gonna say 25. Let's say about 10.
Okay? Right across the street from Stackers.
Right across the street from Stackers.
If they pulled over, there are 400 to 550 trucks, 18-wheeler trucks that come through the city of Chester every single day.
If you pull over 10 or 12 of those.
Okay? Tearing up the streets that Not the city is responsible for paying, but that comes off of the backs and taxes of residents.
Right.
And you don't even have the wherewithal. When Otis was there, he said, well, you know, the cop who used to do that, he retired. Okay, well, train somebody else.
Right.
Y'all get grants to train people.
Right.
It's no excuse, JP, none. I'm not accepting any excuse. Whenever it comes to situations that are harmful to black people, the number one thing that they say is, oh, well, you got to have patience. This 30 fucking years.
It is.
30 years of people fucking being polluted.
Damn.
And let me explain something to you. No, there are a plethora of issues in the city of Chester. But I can tie back the environmental pollution back to every last one of it.
Damn.
We know that certain pollutants cause certain behaviors, certain defects in people. I'll give you an example, lead.
Mm-hmm.
At one time, we had a real educational piece in Chester telling mothers and parents and things about lead poisoning.
Right.
And the blood lead levels, what was safe, what was not safe, and how to keep children's levels from going so high to the point where it permanently damages them.
Right.
And we know from that it causes learning disabilities. It causes aggressive behaviors. Okay? So do we have a violence issue? Because for 30 years, they've been exposed to even more levels of lead.
Right.
It's already a certain amount of lead in homes.
Mm-hmm.
We have old housing stock.
Right.
It's a certain amount of historically that's in soil.
In schools, in soil.
Okay.
Right.
But we know for a fact that every single day that incinerator emits lead into our atmosphere.
Wow.
That's one pollutant. Nobody looks at the pollution on top of
Right.
it. They let out arsenic. The average person anywhere, whether you're educated or not, understand that arsenic is a poison.
Absolutely. Don't they
So
take
you got
arsenic
lead
when you
and
aspire?
arsenic.
Right.
Then you have another component called cadmium, another poison, a known cancer-causing agent. You got particulate matter, which gets down in your lungs and cannot be getting. It causes all types of respiratory illnesses. Asthma is not a genetic disorder. Asthma is generated from pollution.
Right.
So you have all of these things layered on top of a community that already suffered from poor health.
Right.
Already suffered from access to quality health care.
Right. Newports contain all, and I was just sitting there saying, I've seen these words before.
Okay.
They're in Newports, and I smoke cigarettes. Right.
So
and that's the thing, right? Do you care enough about yourself
they will
to care
stop.
about
Let
your
me
community?
explain something to you. When COVID hit,
Right.
oh, well, first it was a lie. I don't know where it started. Oh, black people don't get COVID. That was the thing that was floating on the internet.
Yeah, that was floating around because
Okay.
enough black people
I don't know
get
who
sick.
put it out there, but somebody put it out there.
I did.
To make us not be armed. No, you didn't do it alone, JP.
No,
it
I
was
know,
everywhere.
I know. It was the first couple weeks, and nobody black had got it. Like Tom Hanks got it. It was like, all right, we're cool. We're black. We don't get it.
Yeah, all right.
And then a friend of mine died in Philly from it. And it was like, oh shit.
Okay, so listen, COVID come and our local government was slow,
Right.
very slow. There was no testing going on.
Ain't no funds.
For months.
Ain't no money. Ain't no money to do the testing.
JP,
I know I'm making excuses, but I
Stop.
love them. I don't have a problem.
stop.
Like, I just want us to get
There are
along.
two things that are killing. I can't get along with somebody who don't give a damn about me.
And that's another thing I wanted to talk
but
about.
that's
right?
me. That's me.
Right.
I'm not in that gray area.
Right.
I don't. It's either right or wrong.
Right.
It's either black or white,
Right.
and I can't do that dance with you.
that dance with you. I get that.
No, I cannot. I can't justify your fucked up behavior or your messed up mismanagement.
Right.
There's no, either you're deficient in your ability to do it, you're deficient educationally. However, if you take a fucking job, it's incumbent upon you to learn what you have to learn in order to do that function.
I have a question, right? I was
Looking like a damn fool.
I was sitting here thinking about a mayor's job. When you look at like small cities like Brookhaven, Parkside, small municipalities, right? I was like, well, actually that mayor's job is to blend in with the community, and he allows the people behind him to do their jobs, the financial people.
Your primary, everywhere I've ever known, is you are the public relations for that municipality, city, township, or whatever.
That's it. Just vote me in as mayor, and I'll be in the community talking.
What
to
we
the
need to
community.
do, JP, one of the problems that we have, that I see as a problem, is you have people who are elected. I'm not saying they're unintelligent people, but even the most intelligent person doesn't know everything about everything.
Right.
Your fault is if you won't learn your own craft. Okay? I view that to be highly offensive. If I am the manager over top of parks and recreation, that I need to learn something in that arena. If I'm over top of finances, then I need to learn
finances.
Our problem, the way that our city is chartered, is that you have people who are city council people elected, and they have no real expertise in those areas. I really believe that we need to change our charter and have a city manager.
Right.
They can take away them raises that they gave themselves and pay for that position. Because, by the way, they part-time. Who the fuck earns $70,000 part-time? I want that job.
I want it too.
The hell? So we need to, one, in my opinion, and we looking into it, believe you me, finding a mechanism to change our city charter, put in a mechanism to have a right of recall, like they do in California.
Right.
It's absolutely necessary, and some real term limits.
Wow.
Because we, the residents, the citizens of the city of Chester, we have to learn how to manage our politicians. Nobody hires a person and say, here's the job, you go do it,
Right.
and don't supervise it.
Right.
We do that. When you go and vote and then it's like, okay, I'm done with that. No. You have an obligation. Yo, they haven't picked up my trash. What's going on?
Right.
I get it that it's difficult because they make that system very difficult for people to get through.
Right.
You have to be of extraordinary stubbornness
Right.
to continue that system, to get a hold of a situation and don't turn it loose until you have a resolution to it. And it should not be that hard for every day. It shouldn't be the fact, oh, that's my relative, oh, they'll take care of it. That's the same system that was set up by McClure.
Right.
It was a controlling system where you couldn't even get trash picked up unless you went to your committee person.
Right.
We're under the same situation. The only difference, JP, we are being cannibalized by our own. And I have a problem with that. I don't fault everyday people who are not educated or, lack the confidence to speak out, or I fought those people that look like us, them educated people.
Right. Right.
That are leading people into a path where their life is harder.
Damn.
Okay? Your government is supposed to work for you, not fucking against you. I don't care how you feel about Miss Mayfield.
Right.
Acknowledge that there's a fucking problem in our city with our air.
Right.
Acknowledge a problem when it's causing our children to miss time out of school because they can't fucking breathe.
Right.
Acknowledge that there's an issue.
And then try to fix it.
And if you don't have the expertise,
Find
it's
somebody
enough.
that does.
Okay?
There's enough people out here that have the expertise. There's enough people out here that have the knowledge.
Don't sit up there and say that, oh, we putting out misinformation, but you can't tell us where it's wrong.
Yeah.
Tell us where our deficiency is. You cannot.
Damn, man.
Because before I speak something, you better believe I better triple check it.
Right. That's how
After
I am.
I
man.
triple check it, I got enough people around me
Right.
that are educated.
Right.
Check this and make sure that I read what I read.
Right. Man, Miss Mayfield,
So stop it. Stop it.
I appreciate you coming through, right? April 23rd, there was an incident that happened down, so you have a march, Environmental Justice March,
It
April
was our
23rd.
second March.
Walking from City Hall down to Covanta, there was an incident with a phone. I think a phone, I don't know what happened. I didn't see it, but a young lady said she was hit in the mouth.
Yes.
From that, you have a rally, right, out in front of City Hall. What was the reason for that rally?
All right. The rally was not in response to one incident.
Right.
Okay. The rally was a culmination of a whole lot of incidents by the leader or the perceived leader, which was our mayor of the city of Chester, and his conduct primarily towards women.
Okay.
It's not, and this is what I tried to make clear. I wasn't at the incident that happened during our rally.
Right.
This happened at the end of our march. We had people who were going up into the sidewalks, into the homes, and handing out literature and signing people up to become members of Circle.
Right.
It was two men that were talking to two residents. The residents asked them what the march was about. They told them. As last year when we had the march, we were stalked by the mayor. He kept going around up on 3rd Street, coming down 2nd Street, riding past us all fast in his little orange car. And you knew it was the mayor because it said on there, Mayor 2. Mm-hmm. Okay? And he did that our whole march. And last year when we got to 2nd and Tillman at Calvary, not Tillman, Central, one of them, Central, a parking lot there was our rest stop.
Right.
That's where we did water, gave people a break, gave them a little snack. And when we looked up, Liz Williams was there. When I looked, she was in an argument with a person who came from Plymouth Meeting. Mm-hmm. Plymouth Meeting also has a Covanta incinerator.
Right.
So we help them and they help us.
Right.
The person she was in an argument was, she's a doctor. Mm. Either she's the optometrist and her husband is another doctor, but both she and her husband were there and they brought their children to our march because they want to instill in them civic involvement. And Miss Williams basically told the woman, go back to where your trash comes from. Well, lady, my trash don't come here because they burn it up in my area too. However, she lives about 5 miles away. There's like a 5 to 6 mile buffer between Covanta's incinerator in the white area than the one here in Chester. So when we looked up, there was an altercation between her and Liz, and I pulled her away. Told her don't even respond to her. Then here's Dwayne Lee running his mouth about some stuff. Well, why are y'all here? Y'all need to be down there. And I'm like, dude, you ever heard of rest? Rest break, that's what we're doing. And we ain't got to tell you nothing anyway. Then we look up, here comes the mayor, here comes Al Jacobs, and Representative Kirkland. Mm. Y'all welcome y'all can join us.
So do you think they were there to join you, or they were the other side of the march?
They were the harassment of the march. Okay.
And in that situation, I say for all black people, if you don't have any business stepping into a situation, don't step in. Allow them to do what they do. I don't think that situation, the new situation, could have happened had Thaddeus just done something else. Mayor Thaddeus Kirkman had done something else with his time. It's not about.
But when you have the mentality that, when you're so pious and I'm the mayor, how dare you challenge me? And it's reflective in in city council during the public comment period. It's exhibited whenever somebody asks a question and they want an answer.
Right.
And, what we were saying,
You think he suffers from that lead situation?
he been breathing the shit. He been breathing it just like we have.
Right.
Clearly there's something going on. Okay? I've never seen, listen, you can cheerlead all you want. Everybody has a role to play.
Right.
But you, as a person who's supposed to represent residents, you don't go against your own for a fucking company that can close up right now.
Yeah, you don't.
Okay?
You shouldn't.
Now, what you're also not going to do, those type of companies and facilities, they don't go into affluent areas.
No, they don't.
They don't go into areas where them housewives and house husbands sitting back and they got time.
Right.
Okay? They come in areas where they know that we're already burdened with issues. They've created reports on where to put these type of things at. Something called a CERREL report, CERRELL. That was the industries asked this company to put together on where they could cite these things, and that's their playbook to use.
Right.
But at the same time, you come and you say, okay, you're going to bring us jobs. Okay?
6 people.
6.
6.
We didn't make that number up.
No,
that's
true.
from the number that Covanta gave us.
6 people.
6. This shit is not okay.
2 for
Yeah, you
15.
pay for it. The number fluctuates.
Right, it definitely does.
From how much they pay in community host fees.
Mm-hmm.
One time it's $9 million, 10% of their budget. Now it's down to $4 million a year. Where are we at with these numbers?
Right.
That's number one. Our position is there's no fucking amount of money where I'm going to allow you to prostitute me
Right.
for your pollution. And I'm going to be happy about it.
I think there's other things that you should be able to do. If you're a trash and stain plant, you should be trash trucks.
It's no such thing. It's an incinerator.
Well, get your trash trucks and clean up the city. The city should be clean. There shouldn't be no trash.
Listen,
no
years ago I
alleyways,
proposed,
nowhere.
since you guys claim that you create energy,
Right.
give every household in Chester your free fucking electricity. Do you know what that would do for people? It might actually take people out of poverty.
It would definitely take us out of poverty.
Okay? But instead, you decide to pump that shit over Atlantic City for the fucking casinos. See, so everybody is on our backs.
Right.
Everybody's comfort is being had off of the residents in the city of Chester.
Hold on, time out. They're selling their electricity to the casinos.
Yes. I don't know where it goes now. They won't acknowledge where it goes now. It just goes into the power grid, they say. But where?
But it's free electricity, ain't it?
Where? Y'all creating it? You generating it?
You don't know where it's going? I don't know anybody that creates something and doesn't know where their product is going.
They said it's sold now back into the energy grid. Okay, well, years ago, you sent it to Atlantic City.
So let's know where it's going. Who are you selling it to? That's just the situations that we have in our community. Do you think there is anything like a sit down between? Because this is how I feel. When 2 adults fight, children watch. Children watch.
Well,
let me finish. Children watch how to fight, what to say, and what to do. The difference is the fighting that's taking place, and not just you, but the fighting that takes place for different situations that are above us. These kids are below us fighting with guns. These kids are below us thinking that they have this a worse issue. Oh man, if the mayor said this, I'm gonna shoot it. You understand what I'm saying? Like they look at situations like that. And we've had different, people have sent me. We got a tape. We got Foot on Next season. Say the mayor's dropping a album. Everything that he said, and he said it to you, a woman of our community who for 30 years without pay has been standing up against these companies. And you have not stopped. You have not sat down. You haven't taken a break. You haven't stepped away. You've been 30 years strong. And he's saying this to you, and it just constantly, it reminds me of the things that our community is saying to each other, to our women, to our young men. Is there a way for y'all to sit down, right, honestly, and talk about what's wrong and try to fix it?
Listen, I'm not above or below sitting down talking to anybody. However, what I will tell you is, once you make your position known, and you hold that position,
right.
I got other shit to do.
Right.
You can keep your position, but I have mine too. And we also, listen, this is not going to become. This ain't no fight between me and Thaddeus Kirkland, because his ass going to lose every day, okay? This was an acknowledgement of the treatment that not only me, it's countless other women. That shouldn't even happen. You cannot run around here saying whatever you want to say out of your mouth to women.
Right.
And the men ought not stand for that bullshit.
No, we definitely shouldn't.
But no. All y'all got is us, and all we got is y'all.
Right.
That's it. And you're not going to sit up there and this is not a one and done thing.
No, it shouldn't be.
This is your behavior. And if it wasn't in you, it would never keep coming the fuck out. I don't care who said what to you. You 60-something years old.
I think he's fighting a war. It was hard for the Democrats to take.
Dude, he been in office. Wait a minute. First of all, he was a state rep.
He was.
For how many years? 20-something years?
23 years.
Okay.
Right.
Now you've been in this office holding this seat.
For at least 8.
Almost 7 years.
Right. 30 years.
Okay.
So y'all been fighting.
Everything
for
is not a fight.
But you know how hard. I don't know. I just understand, right? For a man, because I like to give him his respect and his flowers, because he accomplished something that we never thought would happen.
No, he didn't accomplish anything. The people and the residents of Chester gave that to him.
Still,
they did that.
We never thought that would happen. For the Democrats to take over not only Chester, but Delaware County. It's been since the Civil War, right? So that was something that no one ever thought would happen. Man, you'll never win it. It never happened. And it happened. And I don't think he has yet to put down his shield and his sword. So he still thinks he's in battle. When you have a man that has been in battle for at least 10 or 20 years, he's still small. He's just swinging just to swing. He don't even notice that he's cutting people that he once sat with, because he once sat on the side with you and not liking Westinghouse. I can't find the tape where he sat there, and I want somebody, if they got it, I want them to send it to me, because he was in agreement that Westinghouse didn't need to be here, and that, so he sat on your side at one point, right? So to now not be on your side, to now to be throwing out your mama blurbs, and I want to sit down with him. I want to talk to him, because I want to know where he is, right? Why are you doing this? Because it's counterproductive for what you see this city and where you see the city going.
First of all, I have my temperament is not that, I'm not Miss Anita.
Right.
I don't have the patience of Job.
Right.
Okay. I'll tell you, we can get with it.
Right.
Okay. I'll take me some fucking pain pills.
Right.
And we can do whatever you want to do. But that's my personality. There are times when I can temper it and act accordingly. And then I know how to act a fool too.
Absolutely.
Okay? But every time that you are asked, I watch a lady ask him with the patience of Job a set of questions.
Right.
And all I ever see out of this lady is nothing but respect.
Right.
If she don't respect, well, a respecter of authority, a respecter of people, soft-spoken.
Right.
And you disrespect her. It's not just a GP. You got to understand something. This ain't no fight between me and Thaddeus.
No, it's not.
It ain't going to never be that because I got other shit to do.
Right.
That would be a distraction for me. But I'm going to acknowledge your behavior. And I'm going to call it out and tell you what is not acceptable for me as a woman.
Right.
You will not keep coming out of your mouth sideways with us. No, you're not. I only saw one instance where he had the appearance like he was going to do something to a man, but you did it in city council chambers. You know the popo was there and everybody, all your other supporters was there. But you see me out on the streets, you put your head down. You ought to be ashamed of your damn self. But I'm telling people in the city of Chester and women and men, we deserve better and we expect better.
Absolutely.
I'm not I'm not a city official. I don't have to, and I'm not a passer. Okay? I don't have to put on those cloaks.
Right.
However, if that is your title, then you need to act in your title.
Absolutely.
But don't get in trouble in one title in one position. Then you want to put on the appearance of being godly. No, bullshit. That's why our kids don't respect certain.
That's why our kids don't respect anything.
Okay.
You have to give respect before you get
That's
respect.
right.
Sometimes
but
you
more
give it
important,
2 or 3
you got to
times.
be an example.
Exactly.
You can't tell them. You got to be an example of what they're supposed to be.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, Ms. Zulene. You
Bullshit.
know that I love talking to you. Go ahead, say it again.
I said that bullshit.
That
You heard me.
bullshit.
That bullshit.
Listen, I love your candidness. I love how real you are. You know, I love that you've been doing this for 30 years, right? I love that you love the environment. You got me loving the environment and trying my best. After I met with you,
I'm a lover of people.
After I met with you, I started cleaning up Curlin Street. You know, the highway to go down to Delaware.
Where somebody keeps throwing the fucking tickets out.
I don't know who doing that, but whoever's doing
purposely. That's purposeful. Nobody has that many tickets.
I said that too.
Every ticket, but you could track them.
Right.
I didn't get out. One day I started to get out, but I had somewhere to go.
Right.
But I'm going to get out and pull them and see if we can track those things.
That's sad. That's absolutely sad. I said, that's a trash bag full of tickets, but I'm not going out there cleaning it anymore. I got other things to do. Right. And as much as I would love to.
But we have enough young people, like Brown said. Listen, we have the capacity to get funding.
We do.
Delaware County Council, and I've asked the same question to them. How much money do you all receive in terms of grants for the statistics, health-wise and crime-wise, off of the city of Chester's back?
You never got it.
And that money, no, I'm going to get that answer.
Right.
I'm going to get it. I don't care how long. I'm going to keep asking it until they provide me with the figures. That money needs to come here.
It does.
Hire our young people.
Yes, it does.
Put up some fucking basketball courts. Give them a drill team again.
Mm-hmm.
We had a drill team. I couldn't even find one around here. I had to go to Philly, get a drum line. Where every day we would hear those things, and every day those kids would practice. Our young men and young ladies would be out there practicing for hours. We used to get tired of that noise.
Absolutely.
Give our kids something to freaking do before they find some bullshit to get into.
You got another company that you're throwing eggs at, right? You want people to understand that they're burning trash too. Subaru, what's going on up there? Because you said you're going to Camden.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, what's in Camden?
Subaru headquarters is in Camden, New Jersey. Why Subaru? Why are we going to Subaru?
Right.
The soccer stadium here is sponsored by Subaru.
Okay.
It's Philadelphia Union. Last year, Subaru made an announcement that they were going to have a landfill-free stadium. However, their answer to being landfill free, and they're calling recycling, is they're going to send their trash generated at people at going to the soccer teams next door to the incinerator to be incinerated, creating and more hazards for our community and perpetuating and being a part of environmental racism. We go down there when they have games. When we did the march, we made it our point to march down in front of Subaru. They told us we had no right to be on that road that we pay for. Really? Okay, well, we ain't going to be moved, and we're going to do this march. Okay? We handed out literature to the people that were going to the game. Well, tomorrow at 9:30, 10 o'clock, we will be in front of their headquarters. If they see fit that they can bring trash to us, we can take some back to them. And incidentally, when you go down there, I don't know if anybody's ever been down there during their soccer game. When I first experienced going down there during a soccer game, I'm like, what the hell? These people down here like they in Malibu. They on 3rd Street grilling, tailgating.
Are they not supposed to? They're at a game. Like every
Yeah, they can.
Right.
Yeah, they can, JP,
Right.
and I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
But you don't support any of our local businesses. Okay? You don't even go so much as to stop at the darn gas station, buy coffee or paper. Okay? Our city helps with nonsense.
Right.
Because if you ever go in that area during a soccer game, anything going west to east, all of the lights are red.
Right.
Anything going north and south,
Right.
everything's green.
Right.
I get it, y'all want to make sure they get out of here safely, but what about the fucking people who live here?
Right.
You see more cops down there than you've ever seen anywhere in Chester, even during a homicide. So stop it. Stop it. Then we got a public parking area down there. We're not allowed to use it as people would pay for that parking lot during a game. Come on with that bullshit. We experienced it during the march this year. We were not allowed to use the city's parking lot. They had barricaded it off and told us it was being used for the stadium. To take the workers for Subaru down to the game. Okay. They had Chester Upland school buses.
Did they?
Chester Upland school buses were used to be the shuttles to take these people down there to go to work.
All right, now you talk. Now you giving me too much information. I don't.
Okay, so we're going to put in some right to know requests.
Right, absolutely. As you
and
should.
find out where this money is, where the contracts are, how much money it is, and how they can deny taxpayers the use of public property.
I want to know why Chester Upland school buses was down there.
Why was Chester Upland school buses down there when they
you
try
ain't
to
got no
have
kids down
field
there?
trips,
Right.
and they can't even get a bus to take kids on field trips?
CMPRadio.net, Ms. Zulene Mayfield, I thank you for stopping through here, man, and enlightening us on everything that's going on. I want you to keep on pushing. Whatever you need from CMP, you know you got it. Whatever you need us to promote,
we're
I'll
gonna
put the
try to
flyer
come
up
on
there
a
in the
regular.
stories. Let's set up an environmental justice show, man. Let's
Yes.
talk about everything that we're doing. Again, transparency. You want people to understand what's going on. You need people to follow you. You want people out there when you having these marches. Please use the radio station. I beg of you, and I'm not begging you anymore. We talked about this last year around the same time, a little bit before. It might have been like February, but I offered you my services, and my services still stand. Knowledge is power. Thank you, Yvette Bell. Knowledge is power. So let's make sure we're educating everybody. Let's give everybody the knowledge. And like you said, help foster up and bring up that next generation, the person that's going to take the mantle from you and allow you to get some rest.
Yes, Lord.
Right. And get up off them feet. Thank you. Appreciate
All right.
you.
Thank you.